What's up guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to replace your dash speakers in a first gen S10, square body S10. I want to say the years were, what would that have been, 82 to 93 or 94? The first gen S10s. I already did that one over there. As you can tell, they're not going to mount in perfectly. You have to do some adjustments. That one's all wired up, ready to go. It sounds a lot better than factory, which here is the old speaker. The factory speakers, they still worked. I wanted to replace them. I wanted better sounding speakers. But anyways, you got to remove this grill here, and it's two Torx bit screws. They are a T10, I think, or T15. Just find one that works, and once you get it, you literally just unscrew those and you pull this off. I'll do that and then I'll come back. Okay, so now that I got those out, just grab a screwdriver and be careful, try not to crack your dash. You just get up under it, and there you go. There's your factory speaker. It's that simple. Get it out, just grab it and you pull it out like that. Now, unless you have a adapter that fits these, you can literally just unplug this, plug that in, and put your new speaker in and hook it up to this. Or if you're like me, you're gonna have to cut that off, like unhook this, cut those, and mess with the wires to figure out which one's negative, which one's positive. And really the only way to test that, unless you got like a voltmeter, or not a multimeter, to see like which one, or some sort of tools to do it. The way that I tested it with that one was I just watched to see if the cone was pushing, or the speaker itself, like the sub, was pushing out, or if it was pushing in towards the magnet. You want it to push out. If it's pushing in, you have it backwards. If it's right, positive to positive, negative, negative, it'll push out. So next step is undoing these, which there's, grab my screwdriver again. That tab, like right there, there's a tab there. You have to get under that. You can do it with your fingers or you can use a screwdriver, but you have to unhook this. It's pretty simple to figure out. Sometimes you need a little bit more force than normal to pull them off. I don't think they'll break. They should be pretty strong. The other one was pretty hard to get off because I had to sit there and yank on it just to get it to come off. But unhook that, and then I'll show you what to do from there. But if you have a adapter, literally just unhook that, hook on the adapter, and wire up your speakers. For the people that can't do that and need to cut the wires, I'll show you what to do next. So once you got those off of there, you literally can just pull that grill off. I did forget to mention that they are a 12mm wrench, or they have to be a deep well socket to pull that off. But literally from here, you just try and get it out of there like that. There's your grill. That one I unhooked and then took it off, but it really don't matter how you do it. Look how dirty that is. That's crazy. So yeah, it's time to replace them. But as you can see there, you got, what's that, light green with yellow stripe and green with brown stripe. So I'm gonna look up a wiring diagram actually and see what they say is positive and negative, and try it from there. And then if that don't work, I'm just gonna do like I said, and I'm just gonna set them up until I figure out which way's right, or which way sounds better, or which way they perform better. But so from here, you just unhook that and either hook in your adapter or cut the wires with a pair of wire cutters. These are cutters, strippers, and crimpers. This was like, I don't know, $18 at Lowe's. You can find cheaper pair. They're not that much. If you don't have a pair, go get yourself a pair, because these are like multi-use. You could use these for car audio, for any type of wiring, like in a house, car audio, something to do with like TVs or consoles, just anything. Just get a pair because you'll use them. Even maybe if it isn't for like wires or something, they have like a little cutting tool right there. You can cut stuff with that. I mean, you really never know. You can smash stuff with that. It's like a multi-use tool, and it comes in handy in a lot of situations. But I'm gonna pull that off and cut the wires, and then I'll come back and show you what to do from there. All right, there we go. Old one out, and the factory wire plug thing out. Now, before you cut these, which hopefully you didn't yet, before you cut these off, this is really it. Like once these are gone, that's pretty much it. There's probably a way you could wire the factory stuff back up, or like if you tear this apart, like take out dash, there's probably a factory wiring harness you can get, or if you get a new wiring harness to get the factory stuff back. So if you want to keep the factory plugs like there, say like your aftermarket speakers blow out and you need speakers to put in, but you ain't got the money to go get new ones, you can just bolt these, or you can slide those ones right back in. But I don't think these ones will blow easy. I mean, they're not getting a lot of power. They are, but they aren't. It's on factory wiring, so, but I think they'll be all right. They seem like pretty good, hefty speakers. But, I mean, if they blow, I can easily go and find some new ones. Like, I see some all the time on Marketplace for cheap, like 10, 20 bucks. Or go to Walmart, get them for 40. Or you can go get some actual good, built well speakers for like almost 100 bucks for the pair. Sometimes singles, but for the pair. But, once you do that, that's pretty much it. This is gone until you figure out a way to wire it back up or change it back to normal. And now I'm going to wire these up to the speaker. Now, that's where these come in hand, to strip the wire casing off. And, where are they at? Oh, right here. Make sure you have these. I don't know what, like, gauge they are. I just got 22 to 16 gauge wire butt connectors, and I mean, you can kind of use almost any size, not like too big. Get the higher number, the smaller the hole. So get the higher number, like 22 to 16 work perfect. And then don't cut it back too far, but cut it back far enough to where you can slide that in there, and then you smash down the wire. It ain't gonna move. Now, with the ones that you have to melt, make sure you get them in there good, and if you crimp them down, you mess it up, you're either gonna have to pull it off, sometimes you might have to cut it off, but once it's messed up, like once it's smashed and it's messed up, or the wire won't go back in, that's it. That one's not usable. These ones, yes and no. Sometimes you can get lucky, like with the bigger ones, you can stick a screwdriver in there or something and pry it back open. Okay. So now that you got your wires cut, I didn't cut a lot off, or tried not to. I only did a little bit because I'm going to test them to see which one's which. But once you get these ones stripped and those stripped, this is where you're going to need to turn on your truck radio, or like you can start it. But my truck is very loud. Not like very, very loud, but it's loud. And I'm in like a community development thing. So I'm only going to turn it over to where the radio comes on, not the truck, and hook them up and see what's what, or which way it sounds better, which way the sub itself is moving. But once I figure that out, I'll hook them up to the ones that it needs a hook to, and then you guys can use that as for which ones they need to be hooked up to. But I'm going to do that quick, and then I will be right back. Also, before I forget, you will need these. You can either get the PVC ones, which are what these are, or the heat shrink ones. These are 22 to 16 gauge. So the higher in number, the smaller the size for these. And since these are pretty small wires, you're going to need these, maybe even smaller. But I like to use the PVC ones better. I did use the heat shrink ones over there, and it was just a mess because I couldn't get them to crimp right, and then I had to throw them out because they got messed up. Then I finally got it. But I'm going to use these ones instead this time. Okay, so I got it to work. I had a little, I don't even know how it happened, but I went to go crimp that one, and it completely like ripped the wire and everything. Like what I already had stripped, it just ripped it off. So I had to cut it back, and I had to cut that off and redo it. So what I did was, to know which one's which hopefully I did it right. This black and gray one goes to that dark green and like the light green with the light green stripe. And this one, the all gray or silver, goes to the light green with the yellow stripe. Or is there even a stripe on it? Yeah, there's a yellow stripe. That's the way I found out. It seemed like whenever I did both of them, the speaker was pushing up, but one sounded a little bit better than the other. So you have to listen. Listen to it, see which one sounds better, and hook them up however you want. I think I noticed a difference with that one, but it might have been something on my radio that I changed. But I figured out how I want it, so I'm gonna crimp those together and show you what to do from there. Alright, so once you get it all wired up and all your wires are good, pull on them a little bit, make sure they're in the butt connectors. Once they're in there, set it, or put this on it, which are them four like weird looking screws. Set that on there. Sometimes some of them you have to make like adjustments, or you have to do some cutting or something. These ones, they fit right on, but bolt those up, or however you got to fit them. Get them on there. Once you get it, slide it down in there. You have to make adjustments to do that. For me, I just laid it down in there and tried to get this to sit down in there once I could. Put those screws back in. But before you do this, make sure the speaker works before you do this. It's not that much to pull it back out, but it just makes it easier, because if it don't work, it's already out, you can mess with it. But they're both in. So now I went from two of these junk, not really junk, but old speakers from 1992 to speakers in 2025 from Sony. These are the XS-R46. They're 30 watts RMS, 420 watts peak power per pair. I'm assuming this when they're hooked together, and they're 4x6s. They were only like I said, they were like 48 bucks, $50 depending on your guys' tax bracket. But I mean, for Walmart speakers, they're Sony. Sony's not too bad for their audio. I mean, come on, it doesn't really get better than that. Now I will say, if you have all the tools, it's not as expensive as if you have to get like the socket or the ratchet and the crimpers, wire cutters. I didn't have any butt connectors, so I had to go out and buy some. The first set I got, the heat shrink ones, they were like $9 for that one, and there was like 12 of them there, and I almost used all of them just trying to hook that one up. So about $9 there. These ones, the red ones, they were like less than $3, so we'll say $3. So what, $12 in butt connectors, $48, we'll say 15 speakers. So $62. And you have good working, great sounding, they're much louder than factory too, good speakers. I mean, for like around $60, like $62, I think that's pretty good. But if this video was helpful, go ahead and leave a like, and comment down below if you got like any questions, or like I don't know, like any concerns, or what exactly I did, or sorry about that, my video cut. But what exactly I did is in the video, but like any sort of questions or something, just go ahead and comment. And also, leave me some ideas for like videos. I mean, this isn't the only speaker modification I've done. I have two Kenwood 12s in behind my seat. It's a single cab. It's not the greatest fit. It's a tight fit. The one's kind of set up the way it should be. The other one not so much, because it's not really in an enclosure, but it is. It's a rigged up enclosure in a sense. But so now I have aftermarket dash speakers. I have two 12 subs in the back. The next speakers I'll end up changing out will be the ones back here, like there, and then the one behind me, but they're the speakers on the side. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to see, or if you want to see more audio stuff. I mean, I can show you what I did for my subwoofers, how I hooked mine up. The radio, not so much, but that's kind of simple. I just bought an aftermarket radio. I had to put it all together, make it fit, get the wiring harness, hook it all together, set in there, bolt it up. It's pretty simple and easy to do. The first time for me it wasn't, but my dad helped me with that. But once you do it once or twice and get down like the handling with the wiring and stuff, it's not bad. But that's it for me, so I'll see you guys in the next video.